Good morning students. This is the last topic for the chapter number 5 which we will be concluding today. In this topic we will be seeing how the total revenue, the marginal revenue and the average revenue behave under an imperfectly competitive market. Now, before we start with this topic, let us first understand what is meant by a perfect competition and what is meant by an imperfectly competitive market. As seen in the last video, in a perfectly competitive market, the prices irrespective of the quantity will remain same. And as the prices remain same, the average revenue will be equal to the marginal revenue. So we can say that in a perfect competitive market, the AR is equal to MR is equal to price, as in such a particular market, the price remains same. Whereas in an imperfectly competitive market, the prices keep on changing, and as and when the price reduces, the demand by the consumers will increase. So in an imperfect competition, the price changes, whereas in a perfect competition, the price remains the same. In an imperfect competitive market, there are other characteristics also, like there are many sellers in an imperfect competitive market. Different types of markets are examples like monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic competition of an imperfectly competitive market. Now, monopoly and monopolistic market are such markets where the seller will have to reduce the price if he or she wants to sell more units, because a rational consumer will buy more number of commodities from the market when the prices go down. So, we can say that in order to increase the demand, or in other words, in order to increase the total revenue by selling of commodities, the seller or the producer will have to decrease or reduce his prices of the commodity. So, there is always a difference between the average revenue and the marginal revenue. Whereas in a perfectly competitive market, as the prices remain same, so the average revenue and the marginal revenue were also same. So that is a difference between an imperfect and a perfect competitive market. Now, in this type of market, as said earlier, that the prices keep on changing, and that's why we can see that because of a decrease in price, the average revenue curve and the marginal revenue curve, as you can see in the diagrammatic representation, they slope downwards from the left to the right, which shows that as and when the quantities change and the prices also change, you can see a difference in the average revenue and the marginal revenue. While reducing, we can see that there is more reduction in the marginal revenue curve, and therefore in the diagrammatic presentation you can see that the marginal revenue curve falls below the average revenue, showing that when they both start decreasing rapidly, the more decrease can be seen in the marginal revenue compared to the average revenue. In short, we can say that when you compare both the figures of revenue of average revenue and marginal revenue, the marginal revenue figures will be falling more rapidly in comparison to the average revenue. So this is how both the curves, the average revenue and the marginal revenue curve, can be seen or can be drawn on in a imperfectly competitive market. So with that, we end up with this topic. Thank you.